Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And I'm super excited today. It's day 21 of our Advent Tangles. Um, we are going to be making bookmarks. And I do this every year when I write holiday cards, Christmas cards. But somehow this year I'm running about a week behind. So I thought, why not film the bookmarks? And I'm going to use one of my favorite Tangles, Printemps. If you're not a fan of Printemps, you can choose another Tangle of your choice. Crescent Moon would work well, for example. But you want something that when you repeat it over and over again in the different colors, it goes pretty quickly for you. All right, so this is a sample of bookmarks that I've made using Printemps, and this is exactly what we're going to do. And we will need some different materials though, okay? So I'm going to set these aside. And we are going to need, so I use watercolor paper for this. You could probably use cardstock, but I'm using a cold press, and this I got at Hobby Lobby probably 2 years ago, and it works really, really well. It's 6 by 6 inches, and I'm just going to pull a sheet out like that. And I also I'm using the altitude gel pens, and I have 6 colors here. You can do this with as little as 2 or 3 colors, or you can use more colors. You could limit yourself to holiday colors if you'd like. And these are metallics. They're going to have a little bit of a shine to them. You could also use glitter gel pens, or if you don't like the shininess of glitter or metallic, you could just use fine liners in any colors. If you still like working with the black pen, that's totally fine too. This would look awesome with shading and maybe a little bit of red worked in there as well. But for me, I am going to make this a colorful project. So the gel pens it is for me. I'm just going to start with the red one. So this has like a red, a copper, a gold, a green, a blue, and a violet. So I'm going to use all of the colors. And I'm just going to start in the corner down here. Now, for me, before I start, actually, I'm going to maybe do a pencil line. I don't usually do a pencil line, but when you're learning to do this, it might be helpful. I'm actually working on the diagonals here. So I'm just going to draw a diagonal through it with my pencil. I'll go a little darker. You don't want it to be too dark because you don't want to actually see it. When you've done this a couple of times, you're not going to need any pencil lines. If you feel you need more diagonals, go ahead. This is just kind of like a guide for you. All right, so we're just going to start down in the lower left and work our way across to the upper right. And I'm going to start with the Printemps in the bottom corner. And if you're new to Zentangle, this is one of our very basic tangles that we learn in our very first introductory lesson. And it's as easy as making like a cursive C. And then we are going to aura around that. Do that one time. And then you can do that as many times as you'd like to get the size that you'd want. And then you can come back in and close that off. And that's Printemps. We can layer these. So for the next one, I'm going to tuck it a little bit behind. Start with our C. I'm going to come over and we're just about touching that one. that's perfectly fine. Come back around. And when we meet the other one, we're going to stop, pick up our pen, continue over, kind of air draw over, and come back. Like that. I could actually zoom in on this so you can see a little better what I'm doing. I'm working with a different size paper, so the camera's gonna have to be a little different. Now with this one, we have a little bit of a space in here, and I'm gonna ink that in as I go. Some people like to ink that in later, but I'm gonna try to ink it in as I go because I'm using different colors of ink today. Still thinking about a diagonal here. So I'm trying to fill this corner with the red Printemps. And some are going to be smaller than others. Let's do a tiny one here. And some are going to be larger. We can come around and add a sparkle by lifting our pen and doing, I like to do 3 dots. And then continuing on. So that's a larger one. So I'm still trying to fill in my corner. I'm going to work my way up over here. And sometimes I'm going to actually go a little bit off of my sheet of watercolor paper here, like that. So I'm just taking my time to fill in some of those little spaces. Some people don't like to fill them in. I just feel like it gives it more of a finished look to it. We're done. And yes, I do have my puppy here with me today. I'm gonna fill this in here. And I'm just about ready to switch colors. There's no set rule as to when to switch colors. It's kind of just when you feel like it. So I've gone up about maybe a couple inches there and maybe a couple of inches over. And I could maybe put one more here. Like that. And then now I think I'm going to switch to the next color. So in my pack, the next color is this lovely kind of orange copper color. And I'm going to start filling in where I left off. Now you'll notice that I'm not going in a straight line here. I have some that come out a little bit, and then some of the orange ones are going to be tucked in here a little bit, just so that they blend in better. So I'm going to start in here. And I'm really just randomly going where I feel like the next one would fit in well. Maybe we want to add a little sparkle here. And sparkles are optional. Not everyone likes to add sparkles. But I love sparkle. Going back in to fill in any spaces. So I'm fond of Printemps because I love the way it spirals out. And you can make these as big or as little as you'd like. And you can tuck them behind other ones, which is always fun when you do shading. I'm not going to do any shading with this one today. You can do that if you'd like, but I just don't feel with all the colors that it needs shading. So this one's definitely behind a couple of the others there. Move that down a little bit so you can see better. Maybe we need to add a few in here. So I love the randomness of this project because you can work in all the areas of your color there, just randomly putting them in where you feel like you need one. It's a great way to learn about your intuition and just seeing where it takes you as far as filling things in. And everyone's will look a little bit different, but this one, like most of them, always turns out lovely. It's always kind of a surprise when I'm done because they do turn out so differently. All right, let's see, we can put another one in here. Add a sparkle there. And again, adding sparkles is a random process. And I think we're just about ready to start adding our next color. So I'm going to switch. I have a gold pen, which is coming up next. So it's going to be a subtle difference between this copper color and the gold color. So you can switch up the order of the colors if you'd like. And that's the thing, you can totally do whatever your heart feels. Like maybe you want to go back to the red color instead. I'm just using the colors as they are in the box in the order that they're in the box. And I'm just enjoying them for themselves. So we're always starting with that little cursive C, and then we do the aura around and we work our way out. How are you doing at home? Are you all ready for the holidays? I am just so behind. They'll all get done in its own time, so no worries, but I do feel like I'm behind. Move that a little bit to put some up here. Let's add a sparkle. Another one with a sparkle. Can even add two sparkles. I think I want to bring this up a little more, kind of aiming towards there. And then I'm going to bring one right here. It's a little bit above the others so that it's going to kind of blend in with, I think our next color is going to be green. Oops, I went off the screen. Sorry about that. It's a little challenging working with the larger size, which I've not done before. Well, I mean, challenging filming it rather than filling it in. It goes pretty quickly to fill in, actually. Surprisingly quickly. All right, I think that's gonna about do it for the gold for right now. I am going to switch to the green, and I think I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can see better. Now that you you know how to do Printemps. All right, so let's just start in the center here. Same Printemps. I'm just kind of working my way around the ones that are kind of in the green area. So we've got some gold ones in our green area. So I'm dealing with that first. I'm gonna do the sparkle. That's a really big one. Like I said, they can be many different sizes, small or big, up to you. So we're already about halfway done with our I'm going to call it a larger tile. Come down here. Kind of aiming for this corner a little bit. Come back in here. And we haven't done anything up here yet, so I'm going to start filling that in. Let's see here. So even though this is a larger project, it goes pretty quickly. Yeah. If you have the opportunity once in a while to stop what you're doing and pick up your towel and hold it at arm's length so you can see better. Sometimes it helps with placement of the next ones. Just want to make sure this is inked in there. Okay. And I think we'll come up a little more here before we start our blue. Looks pretty good. Maybe I'll add a couple along here to go into our blue area so that we have those transition ones. All right, I think that about does it. I'm going to put the cap on my green and then grab the blue one. I'm going to zoom in for a second so you can see how that's all blending in together. So we have our red, our copper, our gold, and our green. And now we're going to put in our blue. So I'll put one in at this magnification so we can see. And then I'll zoom out again. So on on the camera, on the film, there's only a subtle difference between the blue and the green, but in person, like when you see these in person, you get a better much better feel for the colors. And also because they're metallic, they have a shininess to them. So one way to switch things up if you don't like how close the blue and the green are color-wise, instead of going red, copper, gold, green, blue, we could have done something like red, green, copper, blue, gold, like switch up the colors, the order of the colors. And that way you would have more contrast between the colors. I'm not really looking for contrast because I just like the subtle changes between them, but some people really like a bright contrast, a bold contrast between their colors. And there's no right or wrong. It's just personal preference. I'm going to add a sparkler. I'm going to come up here and work a little bit. Corners are a little challenging. And just do your best to fill things in. If you're using a different tangle, I'd be interested to know what you're using. Is it crescent moon or something like, oh, Indirella would be great as a bookmark. We could probably do this with Pangea and Mirth too. I'll have to try that actually. As I mentioned in the last video, Pangea and Mirth are some of my favorites. They're just so fun. And for me, Printemps is very relaxing. Getting down to this corner now. Sparkling. Double check and see if there's any areas that I need to kind of ink in with the blue because I'm getting close to switching to violet. I think we're doing pretty good here. All right, let me just add a couple more down here. And then I'm going to add a couple that kind of stand out a little bit more so we can transition to our violet. And I think that's pretty good. Maybe I'll add one here. And I'm going to go ahead and get the violet. And violet almost looks like a dark blue, but it's actually violet in this set. It's definitely darker. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. So it's definitely a darker color from the blue, but the differences are just very subtle. Again, I'm still working on the diagonal, so I'm picturing a diagonal here. Um, I can pencil that in if you're still trying to learn how to do this. So I'm kind of working on a diagonal like right about there, but I don't really stick to those lines. So for me, I don't usually put them in, but if you need them, go ahead and put them in, but do it lightly. Don't do it as dark as I did it because you want them to blend in. Let's see, let's finish down here first before going up here. Just keep working right along. If you need to take a break, feel free to go take a little walk or go enjoy your favorite beverage. Have a piece of dark chocolate. And this project is taking a little longer than what we normally do. I have been known to work on these bookmarks while watching TV. I like to keep busy, I guess. So even in my downtime, I'm still doing something. All right, fill in here a bit. Sparkle. And again, sparkles are optional, so if it's not something that you're interested in, don't do it. Just finish out this area up here with our violet. And a little ink if you need to. Let's see, we can add one here. And another one here. It's really just a matter of filling in, taking your time and filling in, following your intuition where it wants to lead you. All right. So now I've worked my way through all 6 colors, and this is where we can make a decision. Do we want to then go back to this blue or pick up one of the other colors? Because we still have this corner to finish off. And I think I'm actually, what would I like to do? Should we go with the gold and the orange? Or let's see. I might go with the orange, the copper color. But you might want to go with red or green, or if you have more colors than I do, you could go with that. So I'm going to go in with this copper color, which I like very much. And now we've got kind of more of a contrast between the colors. Now you can kind of, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see that there's a lot of contrast between these two colors, but this is more of a subtle shift. And it just depends on what your preferences are. Maybe you want to always have that contrast. And maybe you just like the subtle shift. So if you like the subtle shift, instead of going with the orange copper color, I would have gone back to the blue and then the green. So there's so many different things you can do here, as with most of these projects. You can really decide for yourself which way you'd like to go and make it your own. So I'm trying to think now what I'd like to do, if I want to go with the gold or if I want to go straight back into the red. And I think I'm going to go back into the red for our corner. So we've got both corners matching. Zoom in a little bit because we're just working on the corner, so it's not that big of a space. Add a little sparkle. Do a double sparkle. You're almost done. Almost there. Maybe I can do like half of one here. And maybe I'll do the same up here, kind of like a half of one. All right. So we have our entire sheet filled in now with various colors of the printemps, shifting from the left to the right. And now we have to decide, because these are going to be bookmarks, so we have to cut this. We have to decide how wide you want to make them. So generally I go with 1.5 inches because this is 6 inches. I want to get 4 out of them. But if you want a bookmark that's wider, you could go up to 2 inches, but then you're only going to get 3 of them. So I usually use a paper cutter. I usually don't actually mark on my project here, but if you don't have a paper cutter and you're going to be using scissors, I would suggest flipping it over on the back and then marking up the back instead. So we're going to do mark at 3 inches and then 1.5 inches, and then here we've got 4.5 inches here. So we've got mark at 1.5 inches, 3 inches, and 4.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to make a second set of that. So I've got 1.5, 3, and 4.5. And then we're going to connect those. I'm not being too exact because I'm going to use a paper cutter. So you should be a little more precise than I was. I'm going to pause this and use the paper cutter to cut this into strips, and then I'll be right back. All right, and if you're using scissors, you go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you here in a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. How did it go? Um, I'm always really careful with the paper cutter, and mine's not that accurate because it's older. So they're roughly the same width. I did the best that I could. And now you have to make some decisions. I actually like to write something on the back. So I'll take a pen and think of something to say. These are going to be kind of generic because I don't know who these are going to. But if you have someone in mind, you could put a favorite quote, or you could even put their name on it if you'd like. I'm keeping in mind that I want to punch a hole right here, like kind of up here. I'm just going to put a pencil mark. I usually don't mark it, but in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to have a hole here. So I want to write something short that doesn't go where the hole is going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and put happy reading. And I'm not a calligrapher, so I just do the best that I can. And I'm going to do a double exclamation point with a little smiley face because it's happy reading. And then you have to decide if you would like to sign it. So sometimes I use the same color pen, or sometimes I'll use a black pen. I'm going to go with a violet here because it's a little darker. And I'm just going to put in here, I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to put in here, so I'm going to put like a little star. I'm going to put handmade. By Nana. I'm going to put 2024. And I'm just going to do that for each of them. So again, I'm picturing a hole at the top. And here I'm going to put at the bottom here. And I'm going to actually finish this part first. So for this one, I'm not putting the date on because sometimes I don't know when I'm going to give these away. So maybe I don't want the date on it. And then let's see. I'll do another one that says happy reading. Again, picturing the hole here. So keeping it a little more over to here. So I'm going to do happy reading. And I feel this is the most stressful part because I've done all the artwork on the front, and because I'm not a calligrapher and my thinking's always two steps ahead, this is the part where I make mistakes sometimes, as you kind of saw in the previous one. But again, just do the best you can, have fun with it. And then maybe this one I'd like to say something different. So I like to sometimes say read, relax, repeat. I'm gonna do the little smiley face again. Just something different. I'll do the same on this one. So you can put whatever you want or nothing. It's up to you. All right, I'm gonna put these back in order here so that we can kind of see them. And you can leave them as is. At this point, you could laminate them. I don't have a laminator, so I am not going to do that. I have been known sometimes to use a very heavy packing tape and to cover them that way. If you're going to laminate, when you cut around them, leave a little bit of an edge, and that looks really nice. So leave a little bit of an edge, a plastic edge all the way around. But laminating is not required. That's optional. So when you're ready, if you would like to add a ribbon, and we'll do this on one here, you need a hole punch, and I just eyeball it. I don't measure because I'm not really that concerned about it. So I just kind of eyeball it and then punch. You do want a good 1/4 of an inch at the top though. I'm going to go ahead and do the other ones as well. And sometimes it turns out better. Um, Sometimes not. And if it's one that didn't go where I thought it would, that becomes my bookmark. So I've got my holes in the tops there. And then I have ribbon. Um, I pre-cut some different colors just because it can be a little tricky to cut ribbon, but I cut these to about 8 inches. And I have different colors here, just random colors that I happen to have. Um, every time I go to Joann's, I see what's on sale. You can get a really good deal if they're on sale. Um, so they're cut to eight inches roughly. You just fold it in half, which is sometimes easier said than done. This is the thinner ribbon, so it's a little easier. Um, and I just like to go from the back to the front. If you like to go from the front to the back, that's totally fine. Pull the loop through, and then you want the 2 sides of the ribbon to go through there, through the loop. And then gently pull, especially if it's not laminated, be very gentle. You don't want to break through the paper there. But there, we have our first one done. If you have scissors handy, you can go ahead and cut the tops at an angle so it has a nice look to it. All right, I'm going to do, let's see, let's do this one with a green. And this is a little bit of a wider ribbon. So this is about, gosh, it's not 1/2 an inch, it's maybe 3/8 of an inch. And I feel this works better if it's laminated. So what I do is I fold it in half and then I fold it lengthwise in half so that I can fit it through the hole easier. And again, if you want, I go from the back to the front, but if you want to go the other way, that's fine. That's debatable, I guess, but you do whatever you feel is best for you and then pull. And again, if you need to cut the ends, go ahead and do so. These already look pretty good. Okay. And then now I'm going to go with the lighter blue for this one. And this has a little sparkle to it. So ribbons, the hole in the ribbons are definitely optional. So fold in half, and because this is wider, I'm going to fold lengthwise in half as well, just temporarily. Put it through. Open up that loop and feed these through and pull gently. This one I am going to need to trim. I like them to go the opposite way actually, so it ends up kind of like that. And here's our last one. And this is thinner. And I'm going to feed it through the front to the back so you can see how that looks. Works best if you go this way. I don't usually do it this way, so throwing me off a little bit. That's okay. Put it through. Pull gently. This has a little bit of sparkle too. So yeah, if you get the ribbon on sale, you can get some really nice ones with some sparkle. I love these, but they can be a little expensive. The best time to get these actually is after Christmas. So you can think ahead to next year and after Christmas go and look for ribbon. All right, let's put them all together. And we have our four bookmarks. I don't know if you want to see them from the other side, so I'll flip them over. So they look like this on the back. Like I said, you can personalize them however you'd like. But yeah, it's just a fun thing to do, and you can put these in Christmas cards, and generally people really like them. I like them. I like to use them too. All right, that was our project for today, using our basic Printemps or your favorite Tangle, using different colors, and creating actually a gift that we can give to people. So have fun with that. Let me know what you tried. Um, and let me know if you'd like to see more of this type of project, and we could do that next year. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure of making bookmarks. Um, it is a longer project, so feel free to take a break in the middle of it. I'm not sure what I'm doing for tomorrow, but it'll be more of a traditional type of demo with a regular size tile. All right. Have a great day. I'll see you in a little bit when I film Sunday's project. And if you're shopping, take some time to relax uh, and drive carefully. It is a little bit crazy out there. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are doing such an awesome job, and I'm having so much fun. I hope you are too. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.